All right? What is man? What does man do that no other organized energy in the universe does? Man thinks. So to be yourself, you have to think. You have to first choose to think. It is not an automatic process. It is not something that comes as innate knowledge from any source. Human beings are beings of extra genetic learning. They must be taught how to think. Thought is, I'll have questions in a minute. Thought is the process of employing the faculty of reason, using the method of logic to define the identity of that which exists with the purpose of figuring out cause and consequence, cause and effect. If you want to get an effect, you have to put into action the cause. So if I say to you, everything is without cause, what am I up to? I'm intimidating you. I'm lying to you. That's all I'm doing. What if I say, Jesus Christ, the Lord, is the cause, the first cause? It's nonsense. Chance is the cause, is the first cause. So now we go to some of the most elevated ideas of humanity. And by the way, they're incredibly simple because geniuses don't lie. Whenever you find something tremendously difficult to understand, what might you suspect? Someone is lying to you. The truth, by its own simplicity, is known. That is this. You have the idea of chance. You have the idea of choice, cause, and change. Now, here's what you have to do. To be yourself, to be real, right, good, and true, there is only one thing that you have to do. Choose to cause your own change. Choose to cause your own change. Look at the sequence. Choose to cause your own change. Now, we can talk for centuries on the idea of chance, on the idea of choice, cause, and change. But we're not going to live that long. One of the unfortunate things about life is you get smarter after you've lived a long time. Another unfortunate thing is you have to do the most difficult thing when you are young. That is to choose a major purpose in life, to choose what your aim is. So here's what you do. To be real, right, good, and true, summarized as be yourself. You have to choose to cause your own change. How do you do it? You identify, simplify, concentrate, and move. Identify, simplify, concentrate, and move. Now, when you do this, when you identify what you want to do, when you simplify it, concentrate on it, and do it, what are you going to create? First of all, you're going to get what you want. You're going to achieve what it is that you want. Whatever it is. It's an absolute. Second, which is kind of a big second, you, by your own individual actions, will create justice, freedom, truth, beauty, achievement, joy, love, goodwill, everything that is valuable to humanity. There is nothing that you can do for humanity if you do not do it for an individual, if that individual does not do it for himself. You cannot legislate wisdom. You cannot legislate happiness. You cannot legislate wealth. It must be created by one individual. Now, for our man here who wants the manifestation of that which is good, we will manifest it for him. If you do what's right, if you act on what's real, you're right. If you do what's right, you're good. What will that create? Becoming. Change, right? What kind of change? Change for the better. then this will create the justice, the freedom, and all this kind of thing. But here's where you guys get scared, isn't it? Oh, my God. You know, you mention the word freedom in this country today, and you have absolute paralysis. Who are you afraid of? Is it the IRS? The CIA? The religiously insane? Who is it that you're afraid of? You know who you're afraid of? Yeah. What part of yourself? You're afraid that you're going to have a conflict between your reason and emotion that you can't handle. So here we get into the last part of this. How do you do it? You have to know these things very clearly, with absolute clarity. You have to know the difference between reason and faith, between knowledge and belief, between evasion and action, between illusion and reality. And within each of these there are subcategories that are not that essential. But in order to do it, you have to, it's not easy. It's simple. It's not easy. You have to do it. Most human beings who live, they simply don't do anything because they don't do anything. A equals A. They don't do anything because they don't do anything. Then they're against principles. They're against reality. Because otherwise, who do they have to be against? Themselves. When a person does something, they refuse to realize the reality of their own action. They say, no, that's not me. That's not what I'm doing. I don't feel it. They don't feel it. See, to them, feeling is thought. Feelings don't identify anything. They feel, good or bad. Now, there can be no good emotion without reason in a human being, can there? There can be a good sensation when you're being nasty. Well, who says that's nasty? See? See the trick? Who says it's nasty? Somebody. Who is it? Somebody telling you how to live, what to do, how to be, etc., right? Has their stuff worked? No. See, they squash man for centuries, and they say, look at this terrible creature. He must be controlled. He's irrational. You ever hear the church people say that? Man must be controlled. He can't think. Like they're champions of thought, right? Man can't think. Now here's a little secret. If a man cannot think, and don't kid yourself, don't say that you can think when you can't. You'll kill yourself right there. Kill what? Your development. Now, if you want to be a mushroom, you ain't got nothing to lose there. You're doing the right thing. But here's the thing. If I have been against thought for centuries, if I have caused people not to be able to think, the fact is we got people out there who cannot think. Now, these poor bastards feel unfit to live. They don't feel any good because they're not good, you see? If a man cannot think, he has no self-esteem. Self-esteem is confidence in your own ability to face reality and do something about it, isn't it? When you go into a situation where you have no knowledge and you don't know how to do something, how do you feel? You feel scared, right? You feel like a big dummy, embarrassed, timid, shy, right? When you do something that you really know how to do, how do you feel? Right. Now, feelings can tell you something, can't they? If you're honest. If you feel fear, identify it, and you got something that you should do. Right? So if you're afraid to think, is that the only thing that stops thought? Fear? No. Do you know how much energy it takes to think? How many of you have had this conversation with yourself? I don't want to think about it. The more I think about it, the worse I feel. I'll think about it later. And on and on and on and on. Maybe you should have said to yourself, I don't know how to think about it, because if I did, it might feel really good to think. How many of you know how much fun it is to think and figure something out? You've all done it, right? You feel tremendous. When do you feel really good? When you do something right. Achievement causes joy. What causes achievement? Acting on the truth, practicing principle, doing what is right. That ain't in the Bible. Now, if you want to use this magnificent power to achieve trivia in your life, now you have to understand, to the genius of man, things that are big to you are trivial. All that means is not that it's bad. It just means that compared to freedom and justice, you earning $100,000 a year with a store that you own is trivial. How many of you understand that? There are higher values that humanity must respect. Who respects them? Respect means to refrain from violating, let alone love. There's a difference between respect and love. Here's all you got to do. Put your emotion on the side of your reason. Put your desire on the side of the power of your mind. Make it your life aim as a universal, the disinterested pursuit of truth, and you'll become magnificent. And all the little tiny things that you're having massive problems with, you'll be able to go through them like a laser beam goes through a pile of horse shit. Did you smell anything? No. Right? Now, how many of you feel that this stuff is too big for you? Where's that guy who walked in off the street there? He come in here, this guy, he says, well, I'm a Sicilian. So I looked, I said, Sicilian, my ass, Sicilian. That guy's about as Sicilian as a pizza from Naples. So he says to me, the first thing he says is, this is too heavy for me. You got to bring it down. See? All right, now you take a little thing like that, a little statement like that, which you would think is nothing. That destroys humanity. He's saying to me, dim your light because I am telling you I cannot see. Come down to my level of mediocrity. He's saying that he doesn't like what's good. It is that particular. It is an absolute. Now, if you're sitting here and there's something that you don't understand over here, and you're over here, and you, instead of learning it, you say, I have fear. I can't take it. I'm too stupid. What you're really saying is somebody told you that you were a sack of shit, and you bought it. You're saying that man is not conceptual. You're denying reality. You're intimidating yourself. You're repeating the words of your controllers and of your masters, and you are being a voluntary slave. That's what you were in the act of being when you said that. You understand that? So, how do you form a concept? You concentrate long enough on a particular reality until you realize it. There's a difference between understanding and realization. If a man or woman bases his or her life on illusion, what will happen to that person? They will either die or they will have to go steal from someone who bases their life on reason and reality and action, won't they? What if a person holds beliefs that are untrue? What will happen? Same thing. What if they evade instead of act? What will happen? See how clear it is? But your emotion doesn't accept it yet. Your logic does. Your reason does. Your thought does. But your emotion, those of you who are emotional Christians, there are times that I even feel like an emotional Christian when I'm sleeping. Bad dream.